issues with the transmission. Had a quick test run with the bike just to see if it can actually pull with the barrier I have, and ran into an issue where the sprocket holding the chain up, so the idler sprocket, actually snapped off. Obviously the welds weren't that strong, and instead of trying to refix the problem, I bought this. So this is a 50 size sprocket, idler sprocket with a bearing already integrated. What I'm going to do is basically shave the sides because it's a bit thicker than the 520 chain, so I think it should be about 6mm width. Currently right now this is about 9mm. So I'm going to try sort of sand down the two sides and so make sure that it actually fits the chain. You can see here now, what I've done is grind it down to two sides, so it's a bit thinner now. This allows so I've got a spare link from the bike chain. You can see here now it actually engages it fully, rather than previously where it would just sit on top and hovering. What I'll do now is get a Olight ring, Olight bushing, stick it inside to reduce the diameter. This is, I think, now 16mm. I'm going to reduce it down to about 10mm and basically just form a bracket where this will go on and help align the chain over the motor sprocket, and lift the overall chain above the swing arm bolt. So that's the next step, waiting on the actual O-ring itself. Once it gets here, show you the next steps. This, obviously in the last video I showed you what was wrong with it. Brought it out here, had an issues in terms of trying to get the bolt out, and what I ended up having to do was taking a risk and buying a CB250 rear brake mounting bracket. Turns out it's basically the same, aside from a couple of things. So the first thing was this particular part here, there was a slight extension which I've basically just cut off and welded to the new bracket, and then the actual axle part where the axle goes through and this sort of sits on top, there was another sort of 11-12mm of material which I basically cut off and welded to the new bracket. And what that means is basically I've got this situation. So you can see here, this is the original, so this is the new CB250 bracket. As you can see, it fits everything really well. And then this is basically a spacer from the old bracket that I cut off, and I'm going to weld to this particular point here. So just basically TIG weld all the way around. I'm not sure you can actually see it, but inside there you can see the welding seam. So that's the welding seam here. So all of this is the new bracket, and this particular part here was the bit that I cut off from the top of the old bracket and welded onto here. So now I've got a fully working braking system.